Hello everyone, it's Q&A Fridays where I answer questions from clients on video. So I will go ahead and get started. Our trial involves adolescent patients, and we want to be able to send them text messages, but also their parents and caregivers. Can you talk about the best way for us to do that? Yeah, so that's actually very interesting. In some cases, depending on the age of the participants, they may have mobile phones and they may not. If they don't, then we're going to be sending text messages and to their caregivers. In the case where they may have them, we had a client ask recently, they want to make sure that they're taking their medicine. So what we will be doing is we will be sending dosing reminders not only to the patients themselves, these younger folks, but also to their caregivers or their parents. What we're able to do in that context is we use two different storylines, and the content is different. So the content for the patients themselves can be, relevant to them, and conversely, it can be relevant to their caregivers or their parents. We would just screen and enroll the patient and the parent or caregiver at the same time. They could get the messages at the same time. They could get them at different times, but they're on their own storyline, and we can speak to them in different ways. So that's I guess a two-pronged approach to improving and ensuring that they're being adherent to taking their medicine. Does your system integrate with other software? Yeah, absolutely. Provided that the third-party software is friendly to companies like ours or any companies in terms of integration, we say that we play well with others. So our development team has experience in integration, and in fact, not only do we play well with others, but we don't have any ego about it. So if we can find a way to trigger text messages and have the functions of our software initiate and being managed within the other software, then we're happy to do that. A big example that comes to mind for us is RedCap, but in terms of other EDC or CTMS or any other proprietary software that you have where you may have trigger events that could initiate text messages back and forth with your study participants, we are able to set up and do that. Just contact us and let us know what you're looking to do, and we can help you in that regard. Can Mosio be integrated with Fitbit or other wearable devices? Yeah, it's a similar question because the interface between these wearable devices is software, so we can integrate in that context. In some cases with say Fitbit, we may look to an integration partner, or if you have something set up on your end, then we can talk to you about the best ways to do that. We're seeing some really cool things being done with our platform and text messaging and Fitbits, and we see that this is going to continue with really cool and interesting things and innovative things that are being done to communicate with study participants while looking at data collected from their wearable devices. Do you have a web version of do you have a web version of your surveys also, or is it just text messaging? That's a great question. So we do have a web version. In fact, with some of our clients know that text messaging is a great way to, most of our clients know that text messaging is a great way to communicate with their participants or patients in their studies. What we can do is for some, if there's interest, and we can do it for any study, is we send a web link in the first question of a survey, of a text message survey. So it would say, do you have a smartphone? You can take this survey there. They would click on that, complete the survey on the mobile web in a secure encrypted fashion, and then they would be done. This way it gives the participant a choice in how it is that they complete the survey. So if they have if you have a 10-question survey, for example, that can be completed pretty quickly via text message. But if they clicked on the mobile web, then they would be able to just see all the questions on a page, check through them, and then click submit. So it really comes down to whatever's easier for the participant, but we do have that capability. Please explain how nudges work. So nudges that's just what we call reminders for desired actions for completion. So nudges, in our system, they're used for, or they can be, you don't have to do this, but they are used for appointment reminders. They're used for survey completion, dosing reminders, basically any desired action that you have that you want completed. We have the ability to see if a participant, say, completed a survey. And if they didn't complete a survey after X number of minutes, or sorry, X number of hours or even days, then we can send a nudge and say, hey, we noticed you haven't completed your survey yet. Please be sure to do so. On that note, even if you're using, some clients are contacting us, and even if you're using data collection services, you're not using Mosio to collect data, that's fine by us too. They will use Mosio to deliver, say, a link that has the survey. And then on the back end, if it's showing that the survey has not been completed, then we can send a text message back. So that way, you're using the text messaging channel for engagement, for retention, and for adherence to ensure that you're keeping in communication with the participant in the study. But whether you're using us for data collection or something else, it can work for you. Do you think it's bad that the appointment reminders give participants the option to cancel via text message? That's a great question. People ask that a lot. Frankly, people that aren't going to show up to an appointment probably aren't going to show up anyway. They're just not going to let you know. So you don't have to ask, but our system defaults to asking. It defaults to giving you the visibility into the mindset and the thinking of your participants and whether or not they're going to show up. If something comes up and they're going to cancel, our system does a couple things. One is it sends them a message with a call to action so that they can reschedule. The second thing that it does is it also emails study staff to let them know that someone canceled so that they can reschedule as quickly as possible. So in that regard, we think that, we think that it's good that it gives people the option to cancel because it lets you know that they're not going to show up, and then you don't have staff standing around waiting for someone that's not going to show up. But I do think that's a valid question. That's what people ask all the time. And then finally, can we see a text message when a text message was received and read? With text messaging, no. We can. The mobile carriers let us know that they sent it, but you can't see on the phone that they read it. I mean, in many ways, text messaging is sort of like the subject line of an email. You read the subject line of an email, and when a text message comes in, you read it. But received, read, and understood, we always tell clients, if you want to be sure that someone understood something, read and understood it, then in the system you can program and ask for some kind of response to let them know. That would just be a little tiny survey function to be able to help along those lines. But I hope that helps. We have the ability to see that they read that, but you're actually asking them for confirmation of that. And there's other things that you can do in that way. So that's it for me today for Q&A Fridays. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let us know. You can ask us through support or email us through the website. The questions that we typically have here are emails that we get from existing clients or from prospective clients that are looking to use the system. And so we figured we would answer them this way. You can find out more about Mosio at mosio.com. That's MOSIO.com. Otherwise, we will see you online. Thanks so much.